Hello, my friends. Dr. Mandell here. If you're over the age of 60, your eyes become more sensitive to blood sugar spikes, inflammation, and oxidative stress. And there are 3 common fruits most seniors eat every week that may actually harm your vision, especially if you're dealing with cataracts, glaucoma, macular degeneration, or blurry eyesight. Today, I'm going to show you which fruits to avoid, why they cause stress on aging eyes, the science behind it, and healthier alternatives you can start using immediately. Most seniors believe fruits are always healthy, but once you cross the age of 60, something changes inside your body, something subtle yet powerful, something that turns certain fruits, yes, the same fruits you've trusted your whole life, into silent threats capable of weakening your vision day by day. And the truth is, millions of seniors are damaging their eyes without even knowing it, because what used to nourish you at 25 can slowly harm you at 65. The lens of the eye becomes more fragile, the retina becomes more sensitive, and the cells responsible for sharp, clear vision become more vulnerable to stress. And this stress is triggered by something most people never associate with eye problems: sugar from specific high glycemic fruits. It begins slowly. You eat a handful of grapes, a ripe banana, a few slices of pineapple after dinner, you think nothing of it, but inside your eyes, glucose levels surge, the lens stiffens, proteins inside the eye start to clump together, inflammation begins to rise, and tiny structures inside the retina start breaking down, one microscopic cell at a time. The frightening part is that you don't feel it immediately. There's no pain, no warning, no obvious symptom. Your eyesight silently deteriorates, and you blame age, not realizing it was the fruit you trusted. For decades, scientists have known that excess sugar accelerates a destructive process called glycation. Glycation turns healthy proteins into sticky, hardened particles that cloud the lens and lead to cataracts. It damages the blood vessels that supply oxygen to the retina, increasing the risk of macular degeneration. It raises inflammation inside the eye, making conditions like glaucoma far more dangerous. And the fruits most guilty of triggering these sugar surges in seniors are the ones that seem the most innocent: grapes, ripe bananas, and pineapple. 1 cup of grapes delivers a sugar load strong enough to spike glucose as quickly as a candy bar. Research from the American Academy of Ophthalmology shows that frequent glucose spikes significantly accelerate the formation of cataracts in aging adults. But the average senior eats grapes thinking they're doing something healthy. No one tells them that grapes digest so fast, their sugar hits the bloodstream in minutes, sending shock waves through the delicate structures of the eye. And then there's the banana. A ripe banana, especially one covered in brown spots, can contain sugar levels that hit the bloodstream like a dessert. Scientists from the National Eye Institute have confirmed that uncontrolled glucose is one of the strongest predictors of worsening macular degeneration. But most seniors eat bananas daily, believing they're good for energy, unaware of the damage that comes with the ripeness. The riper the banana, the faster the sugar surge, and the faster the decline of the retina's protective cells. And pineapple, with its tropical sweetness, delivers one of the highest fructose loads of any commonly eaten fruit. Fructose doesn't just spike blood sugar, it triggers inflammatory molecules that irritate the optic nerve and increase oxidative damage inside the eye. In fact, a clinical study from Harvard found that high fructose intake increases the risk of diabetic retinopathy even in people who aren't diabetic. That means even healthy seniors who simply enjoy a few slices of pineapple after dinner can unknowingly accelerate inflammation inside the retina. These fruits were once harmless when you were younger. Your eyes were stronger, your metabolism faster, your lens clearer, but aging changes everything. After 60, even small glucose spikes can create long-lasting damage. The lens becomes less flexible. The retina loses part of its antioxidant defense. The blood vessels feeding the eye struggle to handle sudden pressure changes. And while these fruits provide vitamins, the sugar load overpowers the benefits for older eyes. The body simply cannot process sugar the way it did decades ago. Scientists call this age-related glycemic sensitivity, and studies show that by age 60, the body's ability to manage sugar declines dramatically, even in people with normal blood sugar. So every high-sugar fruit you eat becomes a direct hit to your vision. The irony is painful. Seniors believe they are eating clean. They believe choosing fruit over dessert is the healthier choice. but the hidden sugar inside these three fruits creates the same retinal stress caused by sweets, sodas, and processed foods, and every time sugar spikes, the retina pays the price. The tiny photoreceptor cells responsible for helping you read, drive, recognize faces, and navigate daily life begin to break down. Once they die, they never return. What makes this even more alarming is that eye doctors rarely warn seniors about the connection between fruit sugar and vision loss. Most patients are told to eat healthy, but healthy is a vague word. Healthy for a 20-year-old is not the same as healthy for someone fighting inflammation, declining antioxidant levels, and slower metabolism. And the sad truth is that many seniors could have protected their eyesight for years longer simply by reducing their intake of these high-sugar fruits. But here's the powerful part. The moment you remove these fruits from your daily routine, your eyes get relief almost immediately. Inflammation starts to drop. Glycation slows down. Pressure inside the eye becomes easier to manage. Antioxidants begin working more efficiently, and the retina finally gets a break from the constant barrage of oxidative stress. Research from the University of Sydney found that seniors who lowered their glycemic load cut their risk of age-related macular degeneration by nearly 40%, just by choosing lower sugar foods, just by removing the fruits that triggered the most glucose spikes. Imagine protecting your eyesight not with medications, surgeries, or expensive treatments, but with simple, strategic nutrition choices that take pressure off your aging eyes. Imagine knowing that your vision didn't fade because of age alone, but because of habits you can change right now. This is the power of understanding your body after 60. You're not just avoiding sugar, you're protecting the lens that helps you see your grandchildren's faces clearly. You're protecting the retina that lets you read, drive, and live independently. You're protecting the one sense that connects you to the world more than any other, and it begins with awareness. Awareness of how something as simple as fruit, something as innocent as grapes, bananas, and pineapple can slowly chip away at your vision. But awareness gives you control, it gives you power, it gives you the ability to make choices that preserve your eyesight for the years ahead, because your vision is not a small part of your life. It is everything. And protecting it starts with understanding what your body can no longer handle. Today it starts with knowing the truth about these three fruits, so tomorrow your eyes can stay clearer, stronger, and sharper than you ever believed possible. Sugar doesn't just taste sweet. Inside the body of a senior, it becomes a silent force capable of destroying the eyes from the inside out long before you ever notice the damage. And what makes this more unsettling is that the majority of older adults who are losing vision today are not losing it because of age alone. They're losing it because sugar quietly accelerated the decline. Scientists have known for decades that once you cross 60, your eyes no longer respond to sugar the way they used to. The lens becomes more fragile, the retina becomes more sensitive, and the blood vessels that feed the eye become weaker and easier to inflame. Every spike in blood sugar becomes an attack, a tiny but powerful shock that ripples through the eye's delicate structures. One of the most dangerous processes triggered by sugar is something called glycation. Glycation happens when sugar attaches itself to proteins and warps their shape. Inside the eye, this process turns clear lens proteins cloudy, contributing to cataract formation at a much faster rate. Studies published by the American Academy of Ophthalmology show that patients with frequent glucose spikes develop cataracts significantly earlier than those with stable blood sugar, and the frightening part is that you don't have to be diabetic for this to happen. Even mild sugar elevation is enough to cloud the lens, but sugar doesn't stop there. It goes deeper, into the retina. The retina is where your sight is born. It's where light becomes vision, where images become meaning, and this fragile tissue is one of the first places sugar delivers its damage. Elevated glucose triggers an immediate inflammatory response inside the retina. Microglial cells, the immune cells of the eye, activate aggressively. Instead of protecting the retina, they begin breaking down healthy tissue. Studies from the National Eye Institute show that chronic sugar exposure increases retinal inflammation so severely that it accelerates vision loss even in healthy adults. Tiny blood vessels inside the retina begin to leak. Oxygen supply drops. The photoreceptor cells responsible for helping you read, recognize faces, and see in low light become weak and vulnerable. And what makes this so terrifying is that retinal cells do not regenerate. Once they are gone forever. Sugar also triggers oxidative stress, a destructive overload of free radicals. These free radicals attack the retina the way rust attacks metal, slowly degrading the tissue until vision becomes blurry, distorted, or permanently damaged. A single uncontrolled glucose spike can increase oxidative activity in the retina for up to 48 hours. That means every sugary snack, every high-sugar fruit, every dessert triggers nearly 2 full days of cellular stress. And if you're eating sugar daily, the retina never gets a moment of rest. Scientists call this retinal burnout, and it is one of the primary reasons so many seniors experience sudden, aggressive vision decline. Another overlooked danger is the way sugar affects pressure inside the eye. When glucose rises, fluid inside the eye thickens, drainage slows down, pressure increases. And for seniors already on the edge of developing glaucoma, this pressure spike can push them over the line. Research from the Glaucoma Research Foundation shows that even short-term sugar elevation can raise intraocular pressure to unsafe levels. The tragedy is that most seniors never feel this happening. You don't feel pressure rising inside your eye. You don't feel inflammation quietly eating away at your retina. You don't feel proteins in your lens stiffening and clouding over. By the time you notice blurry vision, halos, or difficulty seeing at night, the damage has already taken hold. And yet most of this damage is preventable. The problem is that sugar hides everywhere. In fruits people believe are healthy, in juices marketed as natural, in snacks labeled low fat but packed with glucose and fructose. And the older you get, the more dangerous these sugars become. Scientists have discovered that people over 60 experience a dramatic drop in antioxidant enzymes, natural chemicals your body uses to fight free radical damage. When antioxidants decline, sugar has the perfect opportunity to wreak havoc. With every spike, oxidative stress rises, inflammation increases, and tissue weakens. It's a perfect storm inside the eye, and sugar is the fuel that feeds it. One study from Harvard showed that people who consumed high amounts of fructose had significantly higher rates of diabetic retinopathy, even if they were not diabetic. This means sugar can destroy eye tissue even in individuals with no history of blood sugar problems. For seniors, this is especially dangerous because your retinal blood vessels are already thinner and more fragile. When sugar inflames them, they become leaky, fluid builds up, the retina swells, vision becomes distorted, and over time the swelling becomes permanent. And the saddest truth of all is this: many seniors believe that because they don't eat candy or don't drink soda, they are safe. But the type of sugar that affects the eye most aggressively comes from hidden sources: high sugar fruits, fruit juices, refined grains, and processed foods marketed as healthy. Even foods with moderate sugar become dangerous when eaten daily because the aging eye simply cannot keep up with the constant stress. But something remarkable happens when seniors reduce their sugar intake. Within days, inflammation inside the eye begins to drop. Within weeks, pressure stabilizes. Oxidative stress decreases. And for many, blurry vision improves as swelling inside the retina recedes. A landmark study from the University of Sydney revealed that seniors who lowered their glycemic load reduced their risk of macular degeneration progression by nearly 40%. That's not from surgery, not from medication, just from controlling sugar. This means sugar is not just a dietary issue, it's a vision issue, a longevity issue, a quality of life issue. Because losing your sight is not just about struggling to read labels or needing glasses, it's about losing independence, losing confidence, losing the ability to see your loved ones clearly. And it all accelerated because sugar quietly attacked your eyes year after year. But it doesn't have to continue. The moment you take control of your sugar intake, the moment you understand the scientific truth behind its effect on your aging eyes, you reclaim power over your vision. You give your lens the chance to stay clearer, your retina the chance to stay healthier, and your future the chance to remain bright. Because the greatest threat to senior eye health is not age, it is sugar. And the greatest protection you can give your eyes begins with a single choice: deciding that your vision is worth more than the momentary sweetness that steals it away. Protecting your eyes after 60 isn't just about avoiding certain foods, it's about choosing the right ones that can shield your vision from the silent damage happening inside your eyes every single day. Because once you understand what the aging eye truly needs, you start realizing that your diet is either your greatest weapon or your greatest enemy. And the truth is, most seniors are eating fruits that accelerate vision loss while completely ignoring the fruits and nutrients that could help defend the lens, nourish the retina, and strengthen the tiny blood vessels that keep your eyesight alive. What you choose next could determine how clearly you see the world 5, 10, or even 15 years from now. Scientists have discovered that the aging retina is desperate for antioxidants, compounds that neutralize the oxidative stress that builds up with every year of life. Oxidative stress is one of the biggest drivers of macular degeneration, one of the leading causes of blindness in seniors. And yet, the majority of older adults don't consume nearly enough antioxidants to protect their retinal cells from collapsing under daily pressure. But nature gives us a lifeline. Blueberries, kiwi, leafy greens, and other low-sugar, high-antioxidant foods act like microscopic shields, reducing inflammation inside the eye and restoring the protective enzymes that decline with age. Blueberries, for example, aren't just another fruit. They're one of the most powerful sources of anthocyanins, the deep blue pigments that help protect retinal cells from light-induced damage. A study published in the Journal of Agricultural and Food Chemistry found that anthocyanins help regenerate rhodopsin, the pigment responsible for helping you see in low light. That means blueberries literally help your eyes recover faster from light stress, something seniors struggle with more than any other age group. When your retina is bombarded with sunlight, phone screens, and artificial lighting, it needs compounds like these to stay strong. Without them, the photoreceptor cells break down slowly, silently, until vision becomes faded and unclear. Kiwi, often overlooked, contains more vitamin C per gram than oranges. And for aging eyes, vitamin C isn't just helpful, it's essential. Vitamin C supports collagen, the structural protein that keeps your eye's blood vessels firm and healthy. Weak blood vessels leak, they bleed, they swell, and this swelling distorts vision, sometimes permanently. Studies from the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition show that seniors with higher vitamin C intake have significantly stronger retinal structure and lower rates of vessel leakage. Every kiwi you eat is a small investment in the health of the blood vessels that keep your retina alive. But perhaps the most powerful vision protectors are leafy greens, foods like spinach, kale, collard greens, and arugula. These greens contain two nutrients that the eye depends on more than any others, lutein and zeaxanthin. These nutrients act like natural sunglasses for the eye. They filter harmful blue light, reduce inflammation, and protect the macula, the central part of the retina responsible for your sharpest vision. Without lutein and zeaxanthin, the macula ages rapidly. Colors become dull, letters become blurry, faces become harder to recognize. Research published in JAMA Ophthalmology found that seniors who consumed the highest amounts of lutein and zeaxanthin had a 43% lower risk of advanced macular degeneration. That's nearly half the risk just from eating greens. And yet, most seniors barely consume a fraction of the protective amount. Even worse, many rely heavily on high-sugar fruits that cancel out the benefits of these nutrients by raising inflammation inside the eye. But when you replace harmful fruits with protective ones, extraordinary things begin to happen inside your eyes. Antioxidant levels rise, inflammation falls, retinal cells gain strength, the density of macular pigment increases, forming a thicker shield against ultraviolet and blue light damage. Pressure inside the eye stabilizes, making glaucoma less likely to progress. The lens remains clearer longer, slowing the development of cataracts, and the retina finally gets the reinforcements it has desperately needed to fight the constant oxidative assault of aging. But this protection only works when you make these foods part of your daily life. One serving of berries is not enough. One salad per week is not enough. The aging eye needs a steady supply because the battle inside your retina is happening every hour of every day. Your eyes never stop working. Even when you sleep, your optic nerve continues transmitting information. Your photoreceptor cells continue breaking down and regenerating. And if the nutrients required for repair are missing, the damage builds up faster than your body can heal it. That's why scientists emphasize consistency. Research from the University of Wisconsin showed that seniors who consumed antioxidant-rich foods at least 5 days per week maintained significantly better visual function over a 10-year period than those who consumed them infrequently. The difference wasn't luck. It was nutrition. It was deliberate choices, choices that shaped how well they could see for the rest of their lives. And here's the most powerful truth. You can start improving your eye health immediately, no matter your age, no matter how long you've struggled with vision problems. Your eyes respond quickly to positive dietary changes. Within days, oxidative stress begins to fall. Within weeks, antioxidant levels inside the retina rise. Within months, seniors often report clearer night vision, less dryness, and sharper focus. And these aren't miracles, they're biology. Your eyes want to repair themselves. They want to function well. They want to stay strong. But they can only do so if you feed them the nutrients they need and remove the ones that sabotage them. The fruits you avoid protect your lens. The fruits and greens you choose protect your retina. And the habits you create today may determine whether you continue seeing the world with clarity, color, and confidence for years to come. Because vision is not just a sense, it is a connection to life. It is the way you see your family's faces, the way you navigate your world, the way you hold on to independence, and protecting it is not optional, it is essential. The right foods won't just nourish your body, they will safeguard your future. And that future begins with a single choice, choosing what strengthens your eyes, not what weakens them. Choosing clarity over convenience, choosing protection over sweetness, choosing the foods that help your eyes fight back against time itself. Remember, my friends, your eyes are aging every single day, and by making smart nutritional choices, especially avoiding high-sugar fruits that stress the retina, you can help protect your vision well into your 70s, 80s, and even 90s. Stay healthy, stay strong. This is Dr. Mandell. I wish you many blessings.